Okay, it's good to have you. You're welcome. Welcome. So, about the foundation. Honorable Justice Innocent Umezulike Foundation is an international non-governmental organization formed to honor the legacy of the late Honorable Justice Innocent Azubike Umezulike, who at the time of his death was an acclaimed professor of land and property law who authored over 25 books and served as the Chief Judge of Enugu State, clinching the longest serving Chief Judge in southern Nigeria. So the foundation delivers its mission through the promotion of excellent legal education, research, and charity initiatives. Some of our facilities and programs include the Law Library, the Legal Research Center, annual lectures, workshops and seminars, educational grants, and funding. Now, the HJIUF Moot and Debate Bootcamp. So today, as I read this, I really want us to notice because it is our expectation, it is the end goal at the end of this bootcamp for each and every one of us, beyond participating in HJIUF competitions. If this is something I would appreciate if you can just have it at not at the back of your mind, at the center of your mind, and run with it as a law student and into your legal career as a legal practitioner. So the Honorable Justice Innocent Umezulike Foundation Inaugural Moot, and Debate Bootcamp is an intensive program designed to cultivate the next generation of advocates and orators, and I'm sure that you're part of this generation. This bootcamp serves as a beacon of opportunity and learning, aiming to foster critical thinking, articulate expression, and persuasive communication skills among students from diverse academic backgrounds. Throughout this journey, facilitated by seasoned mentors and experts in the field, you would find a unique platform to not only enhance your skills, but also to forge connections with like minded peers who share a passion for debate and advocacy. So the HJIUF Moot and Debate Bootcamp signifies more than just a training program. It represents a commitment to excellence and a dedication to empowering the youth with the tools and techniques necessary to excel in the art of persuasion and communication. As you embark on this transformative journey, envision yourself not only as a proficient debater, but also an articulate voice capable of shaping dialogues and effecting change in your community. So approach each session with an open mind. This is the last one. Actively participate in discussions and embrace the interactive learning experience. This collaborative journey of discovery and growth holds immense potential for each of you. So once again, I welcome every one of us to the final day of the HJIUF Moot, and Debate Bootcamp, where the seeds of advocacy and oratory are sown for a brighter future. So just welcome yourselves. You are special. It's so good to have you here. And you've been in for a very insightful learning experience. Welcome yourself. It's not easy to invest in yourself by being a part of this training. All right. So for today, the first session on the last day of this training, we're going to have Miss Joy Godwin. All right, Joy is a development professional with over 6 years of experience working with underserved youths across Africa. She has a strong passion for empowering and uplifting disadvantaged youths. She has successfully executed complex and multi-year initiatives and programs involving education, life training, leadership development, youth governance, peace building, sexual and reproductive health, and supporting holistic youth development, addressing their unique challenges and fostering their full potential. Of particular note, she leads her team at Leap Africa on the Youth Leadership Development Program, which features a debate competition for undergraduates in Nigeria and is designed to provide holistic support and strategically harness the voices of young people towards national development. So she is a facilitator, a trainer, and mentor, providing young people with the tools knowledge and confidence they need to overcome obstacles and pursue their dreams. With a Bachelor of Arts in History, a Master of Arts in Peace and Conflict Studies, and certificates in leadership, youth development, and project management, she's passionate and empathic and driven in her mission to create a more equitable and inclusive society for young people. Mrs. Joy Godwin, you're welcome, ma. It's so good having you here with us this afternoon, and we look forward to the wonderful and very remarkable insights you bring to the topic on team collaboration and time management from your wealth of experience and expertise in this particular subject matter. Once again, thank you. Let's, with a virtual round of applause, welcome her. Thank you, Ma. You're welcome. Please, let's welcome her virtually. You can type it in the comment section, or you could use an emoji to welcome her. She's already here with us. You're welcome. You're welcome. So we just have 4 minutes before the session kicks in fully. She's going to start at 2:15. She's going to start by 2:15. Before then, I would just want to say certain things. So at the end of today's session, an email will be sent to you. Okay, we look forward to feedback. Yes, we are preparing you primarily for a career in good and wonderful persuasive communication, as well as advocacy. Yes, that's the major one. But secondly, we're also preparing you for the upcoming competitions by HJIUF. But just as the speaker said yesterday's session, Daniel Oladoja, anywhere you go, seek to make an impression. Okay? So one of the ways that you make an impression is by your contribution to the ongoing conversation and the training. That's one. And the second is giving insightful feedback. So we as a foundation, we want to hear your feedback concerning the trainings and how maybe you've started applying it, not only for HJIUF now, but for your personal career journey. Okay, it mustn't just be HJIUF competitions. And also, we are open to video feedback. You can even do a video just talking about what you learned from her. You can also reach out to facilitate Obed, one of the facilitators yesterday. He made a post on LinkedIn about the training. It's also nice that you respond. It's encouraging to let him know that, okay, Mr. Obed, thank you for your session on he taught on legal research, case analysis, research, and he also talked on cross-examination and rebuttal tactics. You can tell him, okay, I benefited so and so from your training. Okay, those feedbacks, you don't know how much it goes a long way to help in encouraging both the organizers of the training to do more, and then encouraging the speakers to give more when such an opportunity is presented to them in the future. So in the next 2 minutes, I'll just want one person to share something insightful. I want a feedback mechanism, something insightful from yesterday's session. Just in the next 2 minutes, one person.
All right. Yeah, good afternoon, Ma. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So from yesterday, from the first speaker by Salbed, I learned about this thing, mooting basically, and he explained how in your mooting, how you should do, your kind of style you should use, and it made us to understand that when you are mooting, or when you are in a moot court or in a debate, you should know how to carry your audience along, and you should study your judge, because your success or your failure depends on your judge. And he also talked about the 80-20, whereby he said the 80 is your assurance of what you want to do, while the 20 marks is just, okay, let me just put this, how my judge will react. And then he also said we should not go for any debate or meeting with the intention of it's either a win or a win, but we should go with the intention of, okay, I'm going there to learn. No matter what, I am just going there to learn. And so whether it's a win or not, we are still going to feel better at the end. Then he also talked about how to attack in a counter cross-examination. And he said it's not all your witness you cross-examine. You cross-examine some, and there are some you don't need to cross-examine, especially when you see that a witness is not going to tamper with your case, or is not even going to add value to your case. Then there is no need to cross-examine. And when you are cross-examining, you should know a point where you have to stop. And you should also carry your judge along. You should carry the court along, because if you don't carry the judge along, once you lose your judge, then that's the end. Then he also talked about knowing the kind of judge. For high court, they like writing. So when a high court judge is there, you should know that they are used to writing. So when you're talking, you should just be slow and steady with your speech. And even when you are giving your cross examination, you should be slow and steady with it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You've done more than enough. Thank you. Thank you for Ikemi. That's all right, Ma. The floor is yours. Thank you. You're welcome. Good to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's a delight to be here with you all. Okay. He's muted himself. Thank you so much. Good to be here. I have some slides, so that would keep you engaged. So I won't keep you bored. Yeah. Thank you so much. And I do appreciate the welcome, even in the chat. Thank you for having me this afternoon. Yes, maybe special thanks again to Ruth. Our relationship has been a very dynamic one from the many years we've known ourselves. It's been interesting how far we've come, and I'm super in love with what you're doing. So amazing work to you. Well done. Okay, so I'm to take a session on team collaboration and time management. I'll do my best not to bore you. Team collaboration and time management. So I'm going to share a story about myself, first of all, so that you at least get to know who's speaking. Some of it might be a bit hilarious. And then would run through the objectives of the session. And, of course, then get into the meats. I would be expecting a lot of conversations. So please get ready to engage your chat box, and give me feedback. I love it. Let's share, let's talk. So I would start off with myself. And for a story about myself, I actually have a video I want to share. Aisha the debater. I don't know how many of us have seen this on Instagram. Okay. Please let me know if you can hear. It's starting now. I hope you can see it.
Yes, we can see it. I can see it.
Mr. Chairman, your moderator, accurate and panel of impartial judges, my co-debaters, my fellow students, invited guests of honor, distinguished gentlemen before ladies. My name is Anadima Abubakar Ifanago from Primary 4 to speak on the topic which a primary school is better than public school. And I say not to prove you with my vibrating point. Number one, no private maximization public school and government school established to assist and
okay. So I just wanted to introduce the vibrating Aisha, because I started out like that in debates as well. Just being, always just vibrating. So my story. Growing up, I started out as a very curious child, always poking into things, always wanting to understand why. My parents could not ask me to run an errand without me asking you why. And my mom got tired of it at some point. She's just like, why are you the black sheep of this house? Just for always asking questions. And so because I was that way, my dad was not in opposition of that. So he always allowed me engage in things that allowed me talk. So from primary school, press club, debate club, different quiz, I just got into it. And so I was all into it until SS1 debates. I was representing my class, and that was where debates went wrong. So, I was in SS1, I was the third speaker, and typically there would be rebuttals. So the speaker before me finished speaking. Our topic was something around noise. I think noise as a positive sound or a negative sound, something of that sort. But I remember clearly there was noise, something on noise. And so I came up third speaker and ready to report. So I had this fine line of rebuttal. Did I just hear my opponent say, and I gave this fine, and then the hall literally scattered. Everyone was just cheering. I was super excited, because of the cheers. And there's a very thin line between confidence and overconfidence. So I think overconfidence happened to me at that point. And so after they finished cheering, I greeted, panels, my colleagues, blah, blah, blah. And then I was supposed to start my points. And all I kept saying was noise. I couldn't remember anything I was supposed to say. For like 30 seconds, 1 minute, I couldn't remember nothing. And I went back to sit down. And that was how my team lost the debate. And from that point on, I just got myself into a shell, and I said, I'm never going to speak in public. I'm not going to be involved in this. No. So I did that throughout secondary school. Nobody saw me doing anything again. Got into undergrad, and I was trying to be my silent self, but yeah, I didn't just want to do anything debates. Then fast forward to 2022. My organization got funding, and part of the project was to then do a debate competition. And then I was told, hey, you're going to lead it. And I'm like, what? Lead what? These debates? Do you know where I left debate? I'm not doing debates again. But I was supposed to lead that. And it was the first time our organization would be doing a debate competition. So it required me doing a lot of reading, a lot of research, just trying to even understand debates and all of that. A whole big world, and what that did for me was just bring back memories of that particular debate that went wrong, and just also seeing how to further help young people do better with lending their voices to matters that affected them. And then that brings me down to the organization I work with and what I do there. So LEAP Africa is a youth-focused organization. We believe that young people are capable of leading change, and so what we do is we equip young people to lead change. What our major tagline we use is raising leaders, transforming Africa. So we equip young people with leadership skills, requisite leadership skills across sectors to sort of drive change. And we have a couple of programs we run, including one for undergrads. We've had diverse young people come on the program. So we train undergrads. We call it on 2 layers. The Youth Leadership Development Program, that's one of the projects that I lead at the organization for undergrads. It has 2 legs of it, but generally there's a training on leadership that first of all kicks in, and policy and advocacy. And then one leg of it is, okay, you are interested in advocacy, but maybe not in speaking. You want to do a project, that just drives change in your community. And so outstanding project proposals can get, mini grants to sort of implement their projects. The second leg of it is, hey, I want to talk. I don't want to do a project. I want to talk. I'm a debater. And so we have the debate competition. And then, of course, prizes for the winners. So, exciting opportunities. And by the time, our doors are open this year, I would definitely share with Ruth so that it reaches out to you guys, because I know you're undergrads as well. And I think that you'll find it super beneficial. So now let me get into my myths. I've been gisting too much. So training objectives. First of all, we want to understand what teamwork is. Then we want to learn, in the course of this, we'll learn how to build a collaborative team, again, within the context of debates. But I also want to just even mention that these are basically principles that you can actually apply beyond debates, and I think that that's the interesting thing about some of these engagements. And like Ruth was saying, it's even beyond just the competition you're on. It's interesting how you can apply all of this to various aspects of your life. And it then would look into what time management is, especially what we call the time management metrics, and just even speak to that. And then we'll identify some time management techniques, some of which you've been doing it, but you didn't necessarily know that they were key techniques. Some of them you did not know, but you've learned about it, And then we'll then see how to sort of practicalize this, within our debates. How then do you ensure that you're running or working collaboratively during the competition? I understand that I've got a few minutes and I'm just going to be timing myself. Looks like I have 30 minutes left already. Okay, so I have another video, team collaboration. So I have another video and then we will discuss. Okay. You can see my screen, yeah? Please confirm.
Yes, we can. I can.
Okay, great. Okay. But there's no talking anyways. And yes, so that's it there. So we have a discussion here. So this is where I want us to now engage further. First off, from that video, I believe you all saw it. Wait, okay. What stood out for you in the video? It was quite a simple video. What stood out for you in the video? Please use your chat. Let me know. Oh, okay, great. Okay, nice.
Someone has raised his hand.
So what stood out for you in the video? Okay, someone has raised his hand. Please share.
Elisha.
Hello, people.
Hello, good afternoon.
Okay, maybe I should call name. Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Carry on. Good afternoon. Carry on.
All right. What actually stood out for me is what teamwork can actually do in a group of persons. All right. So from the video I watched, we can see that the ants were kind of they were not together when that event wants to happen. But then once an attack wants to take place, one of them will just call them and then they will all team up together and defeat such things. So teamwork can actually make one, have a kind of triumph over every form of what is it called again? Over every form of a kind of something that wants to strike the person, all right? So when we collaborate to do things together, we can actually see that we can achieve more than whatever it is.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Okay, who else? That's Israel. Thank you for sharing, Israel. Who else? One more person.
Good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you, Joseph. Carry on.
Okay. For me, what stood out in the though most of the like the insects or animals were quite inferior in terms of physical power as compared to the predator that was attacking them. Their ability to come together was able to help them either repel the predator or conquer it in some way.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That's so good. Thank you for sharing that, Joseph. Okay. So my next question there is, to you, what then is team collaboration? Okay, I think that there are some charts. Okay, let me go through the charts. Nice. So I see Yahaya say team collaboration. They all work together to achieve goals. Okay. Angel or Carfor, with teamwork, you can pass through any obstacle because there will be different ideas that will be helpful. Nice. Oluwashemilore says, what stood out for me is the power of coming together as a group to prefer solution. Beautiful. Feintola, Feintolua, yes, says, from the video, working together help them to take down the eagle bird easily. In other words, teamwork makes it possible to tackle issues. There is a saying, two heads are better than one. Beautiful. Deborah Abraham, there were reduced risks when the what? I didn't get that, sorry. What's this thing standing in my way?
When there is
effective, okay, I've seen there is effective teamwork. Okay, great, awesome. I really love the feedback. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So in our words now, and with all we've shared, what then is team collaboration? What do we then term team collaboration? What do we think this means? Okay. Agreement among the team. Beautiful. Aremu John, thanks for sharing. Okay. Let me have more, please. More, please. I love it. I love that you're engaging. Thank you for sharing. More. Good afternoon. Fatima, yes, please carry on.
The ability to carry your group members along.
Ability to carry your group members along. Beautiful. Nice. Okay. What more? One more to go, and then we hit the road running. Just sharing.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Facey Kemi. Okay, carry on.
Yeah. So team collaboration is the union and the willingness to work in your own various parts. You are not just doing things for yourself, but you are doing things together to achieve a goal.
Fantastic. Love it. Not just for yourself, but together. Then I still see comments on the chat. Shemi Lori, team collaboration is the agreement to work together in unity. Nice. Aremu John, team collaboration is the coming together of two or more persons to achieve a common goal. Beautiful. Angel Carfor, when a group of people focuses on and works toward a common goal. Yes. Ability to synergize efforts to attain a certain goal. Israel, that's nice. Yaya Magdalene, team collaboration is working together as a whole to achieve a desired goal. Love it. Tommy Day, team collaboration is a simple balance. On simple balance is just all hands on deck. Absolutely. Joseph Adams, team collaboration simply denotes the coming together of people to achieve a set of goals. Lovely. Abraham Stacy, team collaboration is the ability of different people to bring out different ideas for the good of all. Lovely. Team collaboration means working hand in hand to achieve a similar goal. That's from Olami Jolo, right? Okay, thank you so much. I love it. You guys are brilliant. I mean, what am I even doing here, please? Why am I here? My goodness, I love it. I love it. So I have these two quotes I want us to just look at together on team collaboration. The first one says, no matter how brilliant your mind or strategy, if you're playing a solo game, you always lose out to it. So it doesn't matter how strong you think you are. If you're alone, a team would always, come before you. The other one by Henry Ford, and that's by Reid Hoffman. And the one by Henry Ford says, coming together is a beginning. Staying together is progress. But working together is success. So many times for competitions, and I mean, from competitions I've also had to see, is some people, because we say, oh, come as a team, they just look for one person. I'm just, oh, let's just come together. Let's just do it. and they managed to pull through the competition together. But somehow, for one reason or the other, their working together was not as seamless, and it didn't bring out the success that they desired. I've seen a couple of drama like that amongst teams, with one reaching out to report another one and saying, my team leader is not doing this, my team leader is not doing that. But I'm wondering, didn't you guys plan to come together? Why do we have this bit of commotion? But it's normal, right? Because wherever people are, really, there would always be some form of misunderstanding or conflict, or because they're different styles and we're all very unique. So those would come up, but then it's being able to manage that effectively. And then this will now lead us to speak about how then do you build a strong, team? How then do you ensure that you have a collaborative team, a team that works with you? You see this on the screen already.
But the thing they go filili. My text is storekeeper.
Hi, Rhodes. Yes, so the thing they go, please help us mute your mic. Thank you. Okay, so it's all there, and big things there is, first of all, there is team formation. Secondly, there is the communication, the flow of information between all of the parties involved. And the third part of it is conflict. How then do you manage conflict? Because it will always arise, no matter how close-knitted you feel like your friendship is or your team is, there would always be conflicts because we always have varying thoughts. So how then do we manage this, right? So under team formation is identifying strengths and weaknesses. So in this debates now, I believe that your minimum of 3 on the team, so it's then saying for the 3 of us, where are our strengths? Who seems to be like the great starter, knows how to just start, and perhaps that person can be our first speaker, and it depends on, the number of speakers speaking, right? So if it's that, we want 3 speakers speaking, maybe all 3 of you will be involved in speaking. If it's 2 speakers speaking and maybe 1 person to return for a 3rd round, whatever it is, but it's just saying, where are our strengths? Who are those that are the talkers? Who are those that are good with analyzing and doing research for us? So something happened, one of the first debates.
Okay, it's working.
Please help me. Someone's mic is on mute. Okay. Joy Kolawole, please help me mute her. Please also help mute Israel. Let's just minimize the distractions. Thank you. Okay. So one of the first debates I handled, they were at the finals. I had this very fine team that I was seriously cheering on. And thank goodness, what I try to do with my team is none of us ever has to be a judge, so that we're not biased in any way. So there was this fine team that I was particularly cheering on. There were 3 of them on the team, 2 ladies and 1 guy. I truly enjoyed whenever the 2 ladies spoke. They had such a fine flow in their thoughts and how they presented matters. And for me, getting to the finale, both of them, with the 2 of them leading the discussion, I felt like this team would have to definitely beat the other team. But then they surprised me by then bringing up the guy to be a speaker in the debate. So we typically just allow 2 to speak, even if there are 3 on the team. And so they brought up the guy to speak, and I was wondering, why did they pick this guy? And of course, at the end of the day, well, like I said, they lost. They came second. I wanted them to come first, really, but they came second. The guy had a bit of stage fright and all of that. And, I was wondering why, his strength was in research. And from what they shared, he was the one who helped out with most of the research that he did. So his strength was in research. Please help me. Someone's mic is not muted. It's a bit distracting. Facey Kemi, please help me mute your mic. Thank you. Great. So it's understanding the strengths of your team, just so that you don't then put somebody who makes you lose out. And it's not to say that if you don't speak, you're not good. And I also to the young man to say, look, I'm not trying to bring down or demean your competency and all of that, but speaking is not
Okay, we can't hear you anymore.
Okay.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so not everybody is necessarily wired to be a talker. So your strength could just be in the analytical reasoning and the research and gathering data that the team could use. What I'm ultimately saying is look at the team that you have and ensure that everyone is suited in the right place that they should be. You don't want to bring somebody who is a bit shaky as your first speaker. The first speaker tends to have more time. The first speaker needs to start strong. If it's the first speaker coming back to also wrap up the debate, it also needs to end strong. So you want to pay attention to that, and you want to do it in a way that doesn't make the other person feel little, but everybody just appreciates in the roles that they play within the team. And then the second says establish roles and responsibilities. So who is going to lead our research? Who is going to be the first speaker? Who is going to focus on the rebuttal? Some people have ears and they just know how to think on their feet, quickly rebut thoughts. So find those and tax them with it. Who is also going to sort of help us with our time, right? So to speak for 5 minutes, for 3 minutes, for 1 minute, who is helping us, even with checking ourselves on time. And then there's communication. You should be open to having communication. Don't feel afraid to have very genuine feedback, what I would call, not even what we typically would call, oh my goodness, I've lost my train of thoughts. Constructive feedback, right? So you need to learn to give. So if someone is not doing as expected, you don't just say, oh, let's just pamper ourselves through the debates. How do we speak to ourselves head on to say, look, we need you to step up, but you're also saying it in a way that does not demean the person, because you don't want any of your team members feeling so little. It's important that you carry your team along. You also need to learn to allow people bring in their ideas. One shouldn't feel like I'm the domineering one. I always have the ideas. Let everyone contribute to it so that they feel like this is our team and they don't think that, oh, this is Joy's team. We're just following Joy, or Joy brought the opportunity. So we just join her on the team. Or no, you don't want them to feel that way, right? So you want to leave room for that. Then active listening, where you're intentionally listening, not listening to respond, but listening to gain the truth of what the person is saying, listening to see how best to apply what he or she is saying. You also want to schedule meetings. You want to have maybe meetings. Now you're on the debate competition. What are some things you need to start checking yourself on? Do you guys want to even start coming up with topics on your own, just to be preparing yourselves and see where you are at? Some of you might not have been part of the debates in school, and maybe you just coming off to debates. I believe the majority of you are law students, or maybe all of you are even law students. But then I don't know that all of you would maybe have been involved in a moot court per se. I'm not too sure how that works. But whatever it is, the essence of the meeting is just everybody just trying to get used to their different roles, and they're, having to rehearse and practice a lot of the time. We're having opportunities to share more and more, and ideas are not just hanging in the air. And of course, positive reinforcement. We always just want to celebrate ourselves. Someone shares an idea, wow, great, they're brilliant, I love it, good. You just want to ensure that your team feels like they're being cheered on. So yes, celebrate your wins. And then in resolving conflicts, right? You're not to start blaming, oh, this person is to blame. So find thing that team did, that particular team I was telling you about, that I wanted them to win. When I called them after the competition, the fine thing they did was they didn't even blame the guy for the stage fright. For them, they were super happy that the guy got an opportunity to actually be out there and to be seen as part of the team members. Because that's one thing that happens when you're a researcher. Many times nobody puts the spotlight on you. So they didn't want a situation where they said, oh, you're the cost, you went up there and you had stage fright. It wasn't like that. But oh, how then do we move forward, and all of that. So understanding what led to the problem and then addressing the problem versus the people, right? So yes, and then you always want to work towards a compromise. It might not suit what you want perfectly. It might not suit what the other person wants perfectly, but hey, can we meet at a point? Of course, respectfully communicating, and then you want to, if depending on the nature of the case, you then want to have a neutral partner come in to sort of help you out, wherever you may need assistance. But yes, so I'll just quickly move on to time management. Whoa, I've got 8 minutes. Jeez. So time management, I want to quickly speak about the time management metric or quadrant. It's such an effective tool that you can also use in your personal lives. So we have this quadrant, and we have the quadrant 1 there. That's where you have things that are important and urgent, right? So it says things that are important and things that are urgent. So it's a quadrant of urgency. There are pressing problems. There are things we just need to do right now. As a matter of fact, I do think that by the time the debate starts proper, it's actually going to be a matter of urgency, considering the timelines you would have to prepare. But yes, you have those kind of deadlines and you just want to meet up with them. You need to know how to schedule them into your plans. And then there is a quadrant 2 of things that are not urgent and things that are important. This is a quadrant that allows you to deliver quality stuff. It can come in handy even for your schoolwork. This is where you say, I want to start preparing early. It's not time for tests. It's not time for exams. But as soon as semester starts, I want to start reading. It gives you ample time to prepare. You're able to prevent unnecessary things that would come up. You're able to clearly understand stuff. In the course of it, you build good rapport with people. You also feel empowered. This particular quadrant is the best place to be, as you even lead yourself to achieve your own personal goals. You don't want to always be doing things in a haste, right? So you want to be able to pace yourself. And so you don't want to now start something late, something you ought to deliver tomorrow, you're starting today. You can't pace yourself anymore. And you've known about it for 2 weeks. So again, it's just meeting all of that. Then the third box there says things that are not important, but they are urgent. It can be a distraction. They are not important, but they are urgent. So it could be some issues that just come up, might not even be directly related to work sometimes, but I mean, it could be many things, to be honest. If it's a work setting, there are just some emails that can be very distracting, or somebody coming up with saying, oh, hey, this maybe one gist, one whatever, that just, I don't know, but requires somebody's advice, requires something. It's not necessarily as important to where you're headed, but then it feels urgent. Some of those things come up, but you want to give them sort of little time on your schedule, not a lot of time. And then there is the quadrant of waste. This one just wastes your time. Things that are not important and they are not urgent, but they come up. Trivial things, social media, certain phone calls are just coming, and all of that. It just wants to waste your time, right? It can be a good way to escape sometimes, but you don't want to always stay in that box for a lot of the time. You just want to maybe very, 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 very little bit of your time. So that's just me speaking to time management quadrant. I just thought that it will be helpful even in your personal life. But then apply it to your team within the debates. Start early, which is basically you planning and scheduling. Set realistic deadlines. You can utilize some scheduling tools, like if you make use of Google Calendar a lot, they're very helpful. Has a way of just reminding you of what you need to do, and you're not losing out on stuff. You want to communicate with your team always. Prioritize and delegate. We spoke about this from teamwork, where we're saying we're understanding our strengths and also give tasks to certain people. Delegate based on their strengths as well and the skills that they have. Then you want to track, so you don't just delegate and take your eyes off it and feel like, oh, the person has helped us do our research, but you have to check in on the person like 2 hours later. How far have you gotten this? 1 hour later, how far have you gotten this? You want to see if your team is really on track as per your preparation? Oh my goodness, yes. I wanted to quickly ask. I know I've got a few minutes left. But who has heard of the word Pomodoro? What we call the Pomodoro technique. It's a time management technique. Who has heard of that? Or a time boxing or time blocking technique. Who has heard of that? Any of the two? Pomodoro, Pomodoro, or time boxing, time blocking. They're both time management techniques. Are you with me? Anybody? Okay, let me run along then. Okay, I see a chat. Thank you for responding. I have heard and read about it. Beautiful. I love it. Thank you, Joseph. That's nice. Nice. So the Pomodoro basically is just saying, can I give myself 25 minutes, right? I sit for 25 minutes and I just focus on this stuff. After 25 minutes, maybe another 5-10 minutes, I move around, take water or something, come back again, another 25 minutes, I sit down and you do what you call deep work, right? So even for your debates, it can come in handy. You're trying to research or you're trying to even sort of understand your lines. And so you just want to say, oh, 25 minutes, I'm doing this, no distractions, no nothing, and I want to do this. After that 25 minutes, I pace myself a bit, flex a bit, laugh a bit, come back again to another deep 25 minutes. You know, that's a Pomodoro technique. Then time boxing, which can also be time blocking. I love this so much, especially for if you're someone who you're more productive in the mornings. It helps. And especially maybe things at work or something. So for me in the morning, between 9 and 11, 12, I don't want to have any meeting. I just want to do deep work. Nobody should call me. Don't send me any message. Just leave me alone. I don't want to respond to emails. I want to do deep work. So that's me trying to block out my time to say, this is where I want to do major work. This is where I want to eat that frog, like Brian Tracy says. So tough work that I would typically want to run away from, but I want to give those hours to it. You know, so for debates, it could be the research in itself, where you say, you know what, these 2 hours, we're blocking it off and we're just doing research. When we're done with research, before we now try to now understand and memorize our lines or whatever, you know, so it could be that. And then there's the to-do list, right? So again, it's you just prioritizing your tasks. By the time you start the debate, and maybe by the time you see the guidelines, you actually see that you do not have a lot of time. So it's important that you're able to schedule your tasks properly, just to try to even minimize the level of the way you begin to feel overwhelmed. Sort of just manage that and then eliminate distractions. Let me run along quickly. How then do you apply this more to the debate? It's 3 o'clock already. We should be taking questions. If you have questions for me, you can start typing. I'll be wrapping up shortly. Collaboration during debates. Some of you might already be doing this really, but this is just me even just sharing some teasers that you could pay attention to. So there's a pre-debate, what you need to do during debates and your post-debate. So pre-debate, you want to rehearse your roles and the way you would come in, right? You want to also anticipate opponent's arguments. Something we do on our own debate competition is we give you a topic and we don't tell you the side we'll be speaking on. We expect you to research both sides of that topic. You would likely then know your side of the debate 20 minutes to when you'll be called up. So you have to master both sides. And what that does for you is it gives you an opportunity to sort of get a sense of the rebuttals or backlash that would come from the other team. And so you could preempt them ahead and you're just sort of solid in your game. And then you want to develop non-verbal cues with your team. So if I blink my eyes twice, know that it means this, you know, something. Or if I tap my fingers this way, it means this. You just want to have certain cues that sort of helps your team further work seamlessly. Then during the debates, you want to be paying attention to what your partner is saying and to what the opponent is saying, paying key attention. You're taking notes. Don't just come up and say, oh, I'm the second speaker and it's what I have rehearsed. Listen for rebuttals. Rebuttals are so good. If you're able to give good rebuttals, my goodness, you're up already on your case. So you want to listen keenly to what both your partner and other people and your opponents are saying. Then you want to have non-verbal support. Sometimes your teammates can be slightly fidgeting. You want to have a way of just showing them that they're doing well. A thumbs up, even if you're not on stage there, maybe you're behind, but you're at a point they can see you. It could be a thumbs up, it could be you nodding your head and just sort of whispering, go on, carry on, whatever it is, but you just want to let the person know that, look, I'm here, I'm cheering you on, carry on, don't feel perturbed by this. And then you want to offer real-time feedback. Perhaps you're sitting closely to each other and maybe something, you're just like, guy, maybe you should do this, guy, just add this one, add this one, I think you should speak about this. Did you hear what I just said? Just having those quick conversations so you don't leave anybody hanging out to dry. And then post the debate is important. You don't just come off and just say, oh, we have won or we have lost or whatever it is, and everybody find your square root. No, sit down. What did we do well? What didn't we do well? What do we need to improve on? You want to ask those questions. It's part of what helps you learn, and it's part of what helps you develop a growth mindset. So you also want to analyze what exactly did your opponents do that maybe allowed them get an upper hand. And even if you won, you still want to come back and ask yourself these questions, even if you won, because sincerely, even when you win, certain times some things that you did that was like a flop, but somehow maybe your opponent even flopped more, and so they dropped off. But just helping you even prepare for the next phase of it. So you want to have those conversations, even analyzing what the opponents did well or didn't do well, and how you want to apply it to yourselves. And of course, celebrate your success. Like the debate is beyond the competition, and it's something I always tell participants. It's a competition, people will fall out. It's not something to now beat yourself about. It is beyond the competition. But the key thing is what I learned in the course of it. What did I learn in the course of it? How did I build myself in the course of it? How did I develop myself in the course of it? What are some things I learned in the course of it? Some people from the debates that we had, after the debate, they went on to set up organizations because of some topics. They did not know that some of those topics were they didn't have that much insight into those topics. So we had a topic on climate change, for instance, and one of our participants was saying to us, she's always heard about it, but she didn't necessarily pay too much attention to it. But by the time we gave them a topic on climate change, and she did her research, she was wowed by what she saw. And after the debate, she set up an organization, she and her colleagues. They're currently doing stuff on climate change. I think last 2-3 weeks, they even organized a conference in their school on climate change. I mean, that's what one debate topic can do. And they did not win the competition. So it tells you that, look, it's beyond the competition. You don't know what more awaits you. And already I know that they've received 2 or 3 mini grants to do 1 or 2 things on climate change. And I can imagine just how far they will go even after they graduate from school. So it's much more. It's just saying, okay, how much exposure is this going to give to me? And how am I going to be applying it to myself, even if I don't win the prize this time? And I'm wrapping up with this: develop a growth mindset. And I think I've spoken to it about the fact that view the challenges as opportunities to learn and improve. Manage stress, be mindful of what's going on. You also don't want to come off looking all stressed on the day you're debating. Try to balance it out. Then, of course, maintain a positive attitude, supporting your team and sharing them on. This is a final quotation, and this just speaks to the essence of the debate you're doing. Debate is such a powerful tool for transformation of the person's life debating, and transformation of the community listening to the debaters. This quote by William Flonker says, "Never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty and truth and compassion against injustice and lying and greed. If people all over the world would do this, it would change the earth." So use your voice. That's what you've got. Use it to speak for what you think counts. Use it to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. Like people would say, voice of the voiceless, and really that's what could change the earth. It might not seem like, oh, it would change the big Nigeria, but it might just change something in your little community where you're at. And That's a whole world of difference, right? Thank you so much for having me, and I'm happy to take questions at this point.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Joy Godwin. So good having you here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This was really an in-depth work on this subject matter. So I was thinking that the questions would already start streaming in by now. Please ask her. This is an expert in this, and she's also going to be one of the judges for the debate, so that when you meet her as a judge, she's not going to be all smiley and friendly as she is right now. So better ask and get cleared on areas that you need to improve on. I know one team that, okay, anyway, it was in the Moot competition. They had 15 minutes to make an oral address, and one of the first person used up the whole time. And for just as Miss Joy said, even in HJIUF, none of the team is part of the judges. We don't judge. I don't judge any competition. I don't judge any competition that we put out there. We have independent judges just to avoid any case of bias. So the young man had exhausted the whole time that was meant to be for the team, and the second speaker was not able to talk. So that was what happened in the semi-finals. And by finals, it was more like the other party that didn't get a chance to speak in the semi-finals now ended up not speaking at all. So the other person that wasn't able to speak in the semi-finals was now the person that spoke all through in the finals, also not giving his teammates any opportunity to speak. So there was this issue of, and unfortunately they came second place. So it was more like the loophole in their team collaboration was one of the things that affected them in the win. So the other team, they were not perfect all around. They had some loopholes too. They had some places where they did not really put in effort, but they worked as a team. You see this one speaking. In fact, one of the judges in that competition, yes, Joy, I just saw your comment. Yes, there was a disconnect between both of them. One of the judges actually had to ask, "Is your teammate not going to speak?" That was in the finals. And the thing is, we also try to not have the same judges judge every round, also to help in a spread and to avoid, maybe if you've judged quarterfinals, you may have your favorites as a judge. So if you have opportunity to judge semifinals, you already have a bias somewhat towards that your favorite team. So we have different judges for different rounds, okay? But just as she said, you see, when a team is disunited, it will show. Okay, Joseph, thank you for that feedback. It was an amazing session. Thank you. Yes, it really was. It really was. I like the fact that you interacted with the audience. I think you, so far, anyway, the barrister Obed had a slide, though we did not get to use it, but so far, you're the only facilitator that has not just used the slide, but has used a very interactive one. I particularly love that slide of the young girl debating the fire and all that. It was beautiful. I believe it taught the students something. So there was also someone last year that was one of the teams. That video reminded me of her. She was all fire. But I think there's a need for moderation in debate competition. Okay, so you will know when to vibrate, know when to calm down and present your points, know when to. So in the it was an online something. So you could feel her tension, you could feel her. and it made her a bit mechanical. So I know that you're going to be tense. It's normal. I've had debating competitions and I was tense. And there was something, yeah, I like the fact that she used illustrative pictures and the videos. It was really fun to watch. There was something the speaker yesterday said on public speaking. I do that a lot. If I'm talking and I'm really feeling tense, I do a lot of smiling. Okay, it helps diffuse the tension and all. Okay, but also know when to be serious and communicate the points that you want to communicate. Know when to change your tone. Know when to fire. Maybe you want to make a very sharp rebuttal. You can vibrate a bit. So after addressing that, you can go back to default mode. I'm just giving you some tips and all that. It's 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 going to be a virtual debate, at least for the quarterfinals and semifinals. And we'll see if the finals would be physical. It's still under probability. Okay, Cyril, you fire a lot. Okay, know when to do some put some water and douse the fire. For all these fiery debaters, after pumping like this and you've fired. If you just say, but wait, do you know that slight pause has a way of getting both the attention of all the judges, attention of your co-debaters, attention of the organizers. It can also be a tactic. That's why it's not good to just fire all through. Sometimes pause. Make people want to hear the next thing you have to say. So everybody's quiet. What does she want to say? Okay, engage that. It would so change the dynamics of your debate. Please, this year I don't want to have people just come and say, Mr. Majo Tapana, so we need to say that climate change. Please, I want to see that flexibility. I want to see the I want to see the dynamism of the presentation. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm sure that you've been seeing all the feedbacks and all. Thank you so much for your session. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving your all to this. Thank you for sparing your time. I think you're still in Sokoto. Now she's a very busy woman, and I don't take I don't take your time to do this for granted. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right.